it burns me up. I'm telling you, there's something on the inside of us called impatience. So our topic tonight is the promises of God. But how many of y'all know you're going to have to wait sometime?
That's right.
Yes.
See, folks, not only, watch this, like I said, somebody came up with the idea, let's get a fast food. Because they don't want to wait. We don't have to charge them that much because, watch this, because y'all ain't going to be real. Because if we don't charge them that much, but we're going to make a lot off.
Right, right.
All right.
Keep them coming back. Keep them coming back. Because see, they're in a hurry. And they'll say, child, I went down there, I ain't have time to. It's something on the inside of us, if we're not careful, called impatient.
Yes.
So our topic is what? The promises of God. But I need you, you're going to do a lot of writing tonight. So I want to get that, I want to get this done because it's going to take a minute to get this done. The promises of God. My part and God's part. You need to write that down.
Amen.
Because we're very impatient people.
Yes.
If it don't come like we want it, when we want it, we leave. Same thing happened in church. Pastor told me, he promised me, when he gonna ordain me, y'all ain't gonna get to it.
That's right.
So we are so impatient. And things that happen, a lot of people leave church.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Because you won't let me sing my song.
Right.
You've been promised me you were gonna ordain me.
Yes.
What taking you so long? I know God called me. And then watch this. Then the negative side, because we're impatient.
That's right.
The negativity kicks in. Now we leave. He won't like not do what they like to be at. Impatient.
Gotta wait.
So we're going to find out tonight the promises of God. There's a part that I must play in order for God to fulfill His side. The place needs to be full of people because we got some unpaid people.
Yes.
And we're going to find out in the Word that there's a part for you and I to play, and then there's a part for God to play. But just because God made us a promise, we know we heard it. I know that was God. That wasn't nobody but God. But we get into this mentality of how long. David was one of them. If you read the Psalm, David wanted to know how long you going to let me basic paraphrase. How long you going to let my enemy trample over me?
Right.
Kill him, God. Come on. Well, yeah, if you study your Bible, you find out there was a very impatient. David was so impatient that he slept with another man. Y'all ain't gonna be real.
That's right.
He couldn't even wait till the man went out there. Uriah got killed, and when Uriah came back, y'all know the story. When he came back, he sent him back again. Uriah's ready to go home to his wife. You know, come on now. Been out there fighting on the journey, and David wanted his wife so bad, he was so impatient. Because he didn't die in the first battle, he sent him to the y'all and put him on the front line.
Yeah.
See, that's impatient. Great men and women of God, hey mom, great men and women of God have missed out, have erred because they were impatient. Our topic tonight is the promises of God, my part and God's part. We're just impatient people, we just might as well be real. We'll walk out of the grocery line. I've done it. Man, kid, don't look like you gonna help. And have you ever been in a line with somebody look like, I hope I don't get no trouble when I say it, but it look like they're gonna take forever. I mean, you right there with them and they going, now they gotta get on the, at 6 cents.
Right.
You got a dime, get a man the dime and let's go. Impatient.
That's right.
But they're waiting to get that penny to make that 6 cents. Tell it on the set. Impatient. See? Now she's there, I'm already going to tell you. Wife there, now she's digging down through the purse to get 1 penny. When I gave the man a dime and went on. Impatient. Y'all don't tell y'all.
Ouch.
My wife. Okay. So we very impatient people. But tonight, like I said, some people walk away from God, and He promised them what they would get. But they won't get it. Why? Because it took Him too long. So there's a part that you and I must play. God is not going to just give us every promise he made except we get in a position to receive it. So there's some things we must do. But you know what I found out when it comes to church and ministry and church settings and things like this? Some of our leaders, so-called church leaders, have taught the people in a way, and the people have in their mind, watch this, that what God has promised without them changing anything in their life, they'll get it. Because baby, what God got for you is for you. And we've taught it in such a way that when it does not happen, Grandma, when it does not happen within my frame time, then I leave the church. But David was anointed but before he was appointed. We very patient people. Y'all know we are. I know what God said to take me too long. So I might as well go in on and do this myself. Abraham. We're just talking about God had promised him he would be the father of many nations. I got to set this up so you can understand what I'm saying. And he promised him, am I right? You're right. But look what happened. Sarah went and talked to Abraham, paraphrasing, so he would sleep with the handmaid. I know God told you that, but come on, man, we've been out here for a minute. You know, I'm too old to have children. You too old, so how they don't have it? Come on, I gotta find you a young thing. Well, you all right, but I'm just messed up. I didn't reach that unbarren age. Not messed up, but unbarren age part. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? So they couldn't wait. Impatient. So we're going to find out sometime. There are folks blaming God and not themselves. There are still some church folks waiting on God to fulfill his promises, even, watch this, while they're still walking in disobedience. Oh my God. Oh, yes. I don't know the will of God. God keep telling them, they keep disobeying, but they say, well, I know what God promised me in 2002. But now you done walked away from God. You ain't with me. And the promises are not coming about because you don't want to take blame for your part. Now you mad with God. I might be going back out in the world. Ain't none of that God thing. I'm telling you, I've been in this world long enough dealing with church folk. I don't write a book on church folk. I can really write a book on it. Because what you see, baby, you're going to see once, you're going to see it come around again. Impatient. Very impatient. But they say, well, I knew God promised me. And get mad. And they know they're not obeying God. And they'll walk away, right? But because they've been taught in such a way that what God has for you is for you, and that's true. But we need to start teaching people a little bit deeper revelation than that. You won't get it if you don't line up. See, we didn't say that part. Because we want them to keep coming. Because God said you're going to be, we laying hands and they keep running. We need to tell the truth. Baby, that's some stuff you're going to have to do. Well, then well, maybe I need to check myself. Maybe I'm the hold up.
All right.
Amen. Well, we're going to find out tonight that there are commandments while we're waiting on God, some things we must do to make it happen. In other words, God has some commandments, but his commandments going to be attached to his promises. God gives commandments, but it's going to be attached to his promises. We try to separate it. And we forget what God has commanded us to do, and we just hold on to the promise. But the commandments come with the promise. The promise and the commandments, they're intertwined, they're attached together. Because if God has made us a promise, some of the promises he's made us has conditions.